So you either want to be a parent, thinking about being a parent, you are a parent, right? They say nobody's written a book on how to be parenting. If you're a parent, you've probably said that. So I'm going to give you one of the shortest summaries that I can think of with covering being a parent, right? Now listen, there we go. There you are. Now you as a person, right, have a particular amount of time and energy. Right? Now, when you have a child, go on, I'm going to make them this big, right? And yeah, they can already stand. Right, okay, so if you want to be a parent, what you have to do is realise, hopefully before, so that you can make a decision, right? Or after you make a realisation that this is the amount of time and energy that you have. Whether you've got 3 hours in a day spare, 12 hours, 24 hours in a day, whatever cosmic clock you work into, right? Whatever amount of energy. Now, if you want to be on your own and you just want to do, if you want to do your own thing, right? If you're the priority, then don't have children. Because what happens to be a good parent, and this is the difference, right, is you have to give the portion that that person needs. That is a person, not just a baby, not just a child, not just an adolescent, not a young adult, a person in their entirety. And they require, right, you might have A, B, C, D, E going off in your life, right? Well, so do they, whether it be mental, emotional, physical needs, right? As soon as they develop interests, they might have, yeah, and then they'll have, right, and they develop their own. So you need to give to them. Now that means that each of these time and energy boxes that you have, right, have to, and this is very important for you and your maintenance, right? A lot of people, especially women, because they are seen as the primary caregiver, which is actually wrong, because if you are in a two-person relationship, then both are equal. We'll come on to that in a minute. But what you have to do is in each of these time and space boxes, time and energy boxes, you have to reduce that. Now that doesn't mean stop, and this is an important thing and something that a lot more women than men make the mistake of, and then they suffer for it. It's a big contributor to what we call postnatal depression. Depression in general, it's just postnatal is the time that it happens, right? Feeling down, because what they do is they stop areas and they give up these particular areas or for their self-maintenance, and they give all of that time and energy to the person that they're looking after. The reason that's wrong is you give too much time and energy, right? And the young person, as they develop and learn different ways to play you. It happens. That's what they do, right? They're getting used to the people around them and their environment and how to grow and develop for themselves until they learn to play nice with others. Okay, that comes a bit later on. But especially earlier on, right, they want their needs met. To them, they are the priority. you have to remember that you're the priority as well as them. So you keep doing the things that you do. You just reduce the amount. Don't stop them. Just reduce them. It's going to be better for you, and you're going to have more of a balance of power. Okay, so we talked about the person. The reason they're called parents is because there's a pair. Right? Now, to have good, balanced children, people that then grow into what we call adults, people, right? You have to have this balance in yourself individually. Though if it's a two-person, right, parenting, then you have to have the balance between yourselves. So reducing this, they also reduce, everybody contributes, but if there's two in yours, it means that this time and energy that you give, right, instead of having to give half, you give a quarter, right, because the other person gives a quarter, which gives what they need to this young person as well that you're looking after. Now, if you are a single parent, you could say, right, and may be right, depending on your individual situation, that single parenting is much harder than having two parents. Yes, in the sense of you might have to actually physically do more or commit more time in the time, right, and some more energy, though actually that's offset by not having to deal with the fight for control or the fight for power, because you are the one person who is in that situation with the young person who makes the immediate decisions. If you're not a very good parent, not a very good person, not very good at managing your situation or being responsible for other people, then actually being the main person could have great negative effects on your young person, your child, your baby, even at them very early stages, right? The tone of your voice, the settings of the surrounding, the energy that you generate has an immediate effect, not only before, well, when they get here, right, but they're already here, right? The sounds, the environment, the chemical, reactions that go off within the body. I'm not going to get into that too much anyway, but it has an effect. Now, a massive thing for parents, because they say it takes two to tango, right, is that very fight for control, fight for power, right? Now, what you want is, let's just do this one here, right? Okay, so this is 1 and this is 2, right? So you've got a 1 and a 2. So what you do is, if this is your young person's energy and their needs, right, and they've got a 1 and a 2, then 1 sorts out one side, 2 sorts out this side, and you work to your strengths. All of what you're going to find, though, as this young person develops, right, they generate a 3. And you're like, 1 says, I'm a 1, I can't deal with 3s. 2 says, I'm a 2, I can't deal with 3s, right? So what you do is you have to learn, right, and you have to pay attention, right, because 1 and 2 makes 3, right? So you have to divide the areas of 3 to then be able to deal with things. Okay, but what happens is one thinks one's right some at time, two thinks two's right, and they end up fighting and they end up sort of breaking. It's one of the sad things that what you find, and this is not the same for every case, but you have to understand this because it's relationships. Your relationship with your person, with your young person, with your baby, with your child, with your young adult, with your adult. Wait till they get to adults, and if you've done a good job, it actually gets easier, right, as they get older. If you've not done a very good job, you will find that it does not get easier, right? So, what happens is, it's about the relationships. I've found, having had a lot of experience working with parents, families and things, over the years, and, being observant and a thinker, and looking at society, a lot of people in single parent relationships, either it's this fight for control, either they want the power and they want the control, right, and they end up forcing themselves into a single person relationship. One, because, right, they feel that they can have more control in their entirety over the young person, over the child, than they can over the person that they're in a relationship with. Very important. It takes a lot of self-realization for that person to realize that's what they're doing. And you will find that this is something that more mothers do than fathers. And especially because of the system that's set up, right? We're not getting to that too much. We'll try and keep this, though there are influencing factors that generate certain behaviours in people who are in parenting roles. Okay, what you may find is that there is generally, a drifting apart, or differences that mean that you end up being, the relationship itself here fails, and then you end up being a single parent. So there are two different reasons. What you'll find, though, is that the person who wants control, right, and who fights for that control, will tend to have more of a negative result as this young person, as this child grows up and finds their own independence. This is, or I've seen this many, many times with mothers and young sons. Not so much with girls, right? It doesn't happen so much. Though, mothers with young sons who have got rid of the one parent here, right, wanted total control to make their own sort of young man in the image of how men should be, and then this young boy, adolescent, gets to sort of 12, 13, starts sort of finding their own feet, and then I've heard before when conversations, and they said, because I've worked in schools, and they've been like, well, you tell them what to do, then I can't tell them, they won't listen to me anymore. And what that is that's the pushing back of the heavy imbalance and control from the young person. Okay, I've given you quite a lot of information here in this, and a few different scenarios, yeah. Though parent, and what I will say is the couple who've maybe sort of like split up or drifted apart, if communication is good and their focus is still to raise the young person together, even though they may not be together in the relationship as close as it once was, then the young person will grow more balanced and have a good result. To sum this up, What I would say is, if you're the priority and you like doing what you do, right, and you want to have adventures and you don't want to give up, you know, you don't want to sacrifice your time, your energy, you just want to do your own thing, but you think it's your right to have a kid, and you think, yeah, and you want this, or you've got pressure from parents who want to be grandparents, or from the partner who wants to have a kid, but you're not really up for it, then you need to say no. Do not have children if you like to do your own thing. I say to my children, I've been a single parent for, what year are we in? 13 years I've been a single parent, right, and I've got 3 kids. So I say to mine, because now my youngest is just starting 6th form, right, and my oldest is 25. So I say to them, do everything that you want to do, either on your own or with a partner, or, you know, before you have kids. And there is no expectation on you to have children. That's something that might come for you in your life if you want it, and, you know, in your situation, right? Though too many people have kids just because they think they should, or just because they wanna, or somebody else has got kids, or there's a system that's set up that supports them more if they have kids. The wrong reasons. The right reason to have children is because you found some balance in your own life. You know, you've in a relationship and you feel that, you know, you wanna grow that. What you need to realise is that once you are a parent, your life changes. You are no longer the priority, right? The young person, right? And giving them what they need, right? You have to do that. Otherwise, you are going to have a negative effect. And there are too many children in this world who've suffered for selfish, bad parenting. Male and female. You want to make this about, if somebody makes this about like, oh, it's saying it's the woman's fault, or saying it's the man's fault, or make it about sex, right, or genders, or, then the person who is saying that is part of the problem, because it's that negative attitude. Parenting is simple. It's easy if you make it easy. People overcomplicate things, fight for control, and they're selfish. Them 3 things are what end up being bad parenting. You know, I mentioned what's bad English. What end up, right? Yeah. Though that is part of the problem, and that passes on, and that is why we've got so many young people, right, who are struggling in different areas. So it needs a realisation from people, young people who are not parents yet, who might not want to be, who find themselves in a situation. Do not be a parent until you are totally and utterly sure. And if you still want to do things and go off and travel and have adventures and have all these sort of career achievements, right, then do that first. Don't try and juggle too many things, right? Anyway, there we go. So that is my summary. Each of these areas I can go into more depth, and you can have more of a conversation, and I'd be happy to do that, and share that knowledge to get the good results. Though this is a summary that hopefully everybody can understand, and take something from to improve your situation. If you are a parent, right, understand you still need to look after yourself and do the things that you're interested in to a reduced amount, right, and give the quality time and energy, right, to your young person. Maintain good communication in your relationship with the other person who's a parent, a pair of yous. Right. Okay, if you find yourself on your own now, give the good, consistent message. Look after yourself as much as you look after your young person. And know that if you do a good job and you stick to what you know is good, it gets easier, right? I've had quite a few jobs. No, I had quite a few jobs when I was a young person. I actually have not had that many jobs when I was older. They just lasted longer. Though what I will say is, being a parent, although a single parent for 13 years, is one of the best jobs that I've ever had. It's awesome. You just have to do it right. And yes, it's a learning journey, and you have to remember that. So I hope you get some good results, and I hope you manage to get something valuable from that has a good impact on your life and your young person. Yeah, there's other system work that needs to be done, to a framework to support people. So that's another story. Okay, have a good day.